Call to order. Welcome to the September 18th, 2023 meeting of the Gaston County Board of Education. I'm Jeff Ramsey, Chairman of the Board, and to my left is our Vice Chair, Dot Cherry. And I'd like to ask our members of the board to introduce themselves.
Lee Dedman, Gastonia Township.
Josh Crisp, Dallas Township.
Todd Kinlaw, South Point Township.
A.M. Stevens, Riverbend Township.
Ms. Guthrie?
Dot Guthrie, Gastonia Township.
Thank you. Our first order of business is to have our invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance of the flag. I would like to ask Dr. Laws to lead us.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Welcome, everybody. Okay, I'm going to give you a vocabulary test here. See if you know this word. I am a dendrophile. Does anybody know what a dendrophile is? I didn't. Anybody know what a dendrophile is? I had to look it up.
Give them a few more minutes, they'll be able to Google it.
All right. I am a dendrophile, a lover of trees.
One who loves trees.
I study them, grow them, and sing their praises. In the past, I felt sorry for trees because wherever they were planted is where they would spend the rest of their lives. Personally, I would go mad if I couldn't move around, but trees are clever at thriving wherever their acorn fell. A tree that springs up in shade, for example, may simply produce more and larger leaves and send branches out far and wide seeking stray sunbeams. In so doing, it becomes an unusually beautiful tree. A tree planted in a poor, dry soil might send roots out hundreds of feet in every direction seeking moisture and nutrients, and good roots make a tree as strong as iron. Mulberry trees grow everywhere around our town, in strange places, along fences where birds drop seeds, in sidewalk cracks and peeking through sidewalk gratings. They grow out of drain pipes and junked cars. I've even seen them flourishing in a roof gutter. Doomed to be small because of their poor location, they are nonetheless pretty trees with glossy lobed leaves and delicate caramel branches, loaded with dark purple berries that birds fight over. Now, there are times when I feel like a tree, trapped in an aging body, and I get the feeling sorry for myself. But from watching trees, I'm learning to be kind of counting my blessings because I like where I'm planted right here and now. Let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Chair, if I can, this is from Daily Guidepost. This is how I start my day every day, and I just wanted to give credit to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Laws. Our next order of business is adopt the agenda. Do I hear a motion to adopt the agenda? Mr. Dedman, second by Mr. Kinlaw. All in favor? The agenda is adopted. Did Ms. Guthrie? Okay, thank you. Our next order of business is to hear good news happening in our schools. Mr. Todd Hagens, what's the good news today for us?
Chairman Ramsey, Vice Chairman Cherry, members of the board, and Dr. Laws, good evening. It is a pleasure to present our good news for the month of September. This evening, we have the opportunity to recognize two of our outstanding school resource officers for their heroic efforts. At this time, we would like to invite Stanley Middle School Resource Officer Jonathan Pullen and 8th grader Caleb Self to come forward. Officer Pullen, Board of Education, he is credited with saving Caleb's life. Earlier this school year, it was a bit noisy in the school cafeteria, and no one seemed to notice that Caleb was choking. He approached a teacher to get the teacher's attention, and the teacher reacted quickly and called for Officer Pullen's help. Without hesitation, they both rushed toward each other, and Officer Pullen took action. He performed the Heimlich maneuver and dislodged the food. After the incident, Officer Pullen escorted Caleb to the office, allowing him to regain his composure before informing Caleb's parents about what had happened. Caleb's father, Josh, who also works as a school resource officer, believes that Officer Pullen's quick thinking and training kept the situation from being a lot worse. It goes without saying that the Self family is grateful for Officer Pullen's life-saving efforts.
I think I can speak on behalf of all the parents to say we're thankful to God for Officer Pullen. Amen. He could have been one of our kids. And that's who we have in our schools. People like Officer Pullen. Our SROs, teachers, administrators, staff. We've got the best of the best in Gaston County. And I don't know about you, but I do thank God daily for folks like you. Thank you.
Pictures first.
Let me put you in. Put Caleb on this side, please. There you go. All right. No, one more. Thank you.
Next, we would like for Officer Jeff Thompson from Bessemer City High School to come forward. Officer Thompson is being praised for his quick response on 2 separate occasions. Recently, when a school employee sustained an injury while operating a lawnmower, Officer Thompson responded promptly by applying pressure to the wound to stop the bleeding. Officer Thompson assumed control of the situation, maintained composure, and effectively used a belt as a makeshift tourniquet to manage the bleeding. Additionally, Officer Thompson, like Officer Pullen, is credited with using the Heimlich maneuver to help a student who was choking. You may recall that last year, Officer Thompson was selected as a North Carolina hometown hero for Gaston County, and he received the Gaston County Employee of the Year Award for his dedication to promoting student involvement in school and community service projects. We are extremely proud of our partnership with our local law enforcement agencies to keep our schools safe and secure, and we are so grateful that Officer Thompson and Officer Pullen were in the right place at the right time to handle serious situations. And we would like to say thank you to all of our school resource officers for the work they do each day for our schools. We are better and safer because of our school resource officers.
Officer Thompson, thank you. If I didn't know how good of a job that our staff in the cafeteria and food services did, I'd make a joke that we've got 2 incidences, but it's not their fault. But it's not by happen chance either that we have folks like you that work here at Gaston County.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm grateful for you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Make it tonight.
And with us tonight is the Assistant Principal from Bessemer City High School, Dr. Tom Potter.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
They want to say hi to you. That's fine.
Board of Education, this evening, we are pleased to announce that 47 of our classroom teachers have met the state teaching standards for the academically or intellectually gifted program, which is known as AIG. The 46 teachers completed a year-long coursework titled Gaston County Schools AIG Local Endorsement, or GALE as we like to call it. With the training complete, the teachers are now qualified to work with our gifted students. A point of pride for the AIG department is the record level of interest in the GALE training. We never imagined having 47 teachers in our second cohort. The teachers had to go beyond expectations to spend time attending in-person training over the summer and also taking online classes to gain the GALE endorsement. At this time, we are going to recognize the teachers who were able to be with us this evening, and I think about 30 of them are here, and we will bring them up in 3 groups since there are so many of them. So when I call your name, if you will please come forward to be recognized. Allie Earhart from Belmont Middle School. Susan Allen from Chavis Middle School. Kirsten Bax from Belmont Central Elementary School. Jessica Barnes from Pleasant Ridge Elementary School. Susan Allen from Chavis Middle School. Kirsten Bax from Belmont Central Elementary. Jessica Barnes from Pleasant Ridge Elementary. Brittany Beam Henderson from Chavis Middle School. Caroline Belcher from York Chester Middle School. Aaron Braswell from Belmont Central Elementary. Brandy Bridgman from Belmont Central Elementary. And Catherine Brooks from Belmont Central Elementary. And this is our first group that we will recognize.
All the A's and B's. Did y'all get that?
Ms. Cherry, Mr. Ramsey, you all step into that
Oh, he
picture.
wants us to step with him.
Yep.
Step.
The next group to be recognized for achieving the GALE training are Amy Brown from Belmont Central Elementary, Penny Cable from Pleasant Ridge Elementary, Crystal Dean from York Chester Middle School, Ilana Ford from Belmont Central Elementary, Angelina Gonzalez from Belmont Central Elementary, Miranda Graham from Belmont Central Elementary, Crystal Hall from Holbrook Middle School, Shadiki Hamilton Barnes from Holbrook Middle School, Amber Jeffries from W.C. Friday Middle School, and Jorge Ero from Holbrook Middle School.
The lone man. You're right in the middle of them.
Go this way, please.
Y'all smile, y'all.
All right, turn to the, make a good start here.
Our third group of teachers earning the Gale Training endorsement, we have Margaret McLean from Belmont Central Elementary, Shantana Mullings from Holbrook Middle School, Kim Parrish, Belmont Central Elementary, Laura Rayfield, York Chester Middle School, Courtney Robinson, Pleasant Ridge Elementary, Kristen Ross from Belmont Central Elementary, Misty Sigmund from John Chavis Middle School, Lisa Vaughn from Belmont Central Elementary School, Deron Wilson from Holbrook Middle School, Latera Wilson from Belmont Central Elementary School, and Joshua Winburn from Cramerton Middle School. And did I overlook anyone? Okay, John, if you'll take a list of those names and get those names to me.
We have their principals here too.
Adams. Rice. Rice. Siler.
So they're four.
Board of Education, we have 4 additional teachers that are with us that were not on my list, so I apologize for that. We would like to recognize Cheryl Adams from Belmont Central Elementary, Blair Rice from Cramerton Middle School, Brittany Southard from Belmont Central Elementary School, and Cassie Seiler from Belmont Central Elementary.
We just take the desk.
Thank you.
We have them in a special box.
Sit down, okay.
Perfect.
I'm standing on it.
Let's put Miss Rice right there. There we go.
They're all set. Thank you. Thank you.
And I know that some of our principals are with us, and the principals that are with us, if they would like to step in to be recognized as well for being here.
Principals.
We would like to acknowledge our principals who are with us tonight to recognize our teachers who earned the Gale training. And I think a few of them have already left, but we certainly appreciate our principals and what they have done to help support this important program, which is part of our AIG department. And we would like to say that we are very proud of all 47 teachers who put forth an extra effort to obtain the Gale endorsement, and we applaud their hard work and dedication to our AIG program.
Yes, we do.
And Mr. Chairman, that completes our good news recognition for the month of September.
Yeah, I'm getting ready. Thank you, Mr. Hagens, and I actually asked my wife to watch tonight since she's a retired AIG teacher that a lot of her colleagues are going to be recognized, so hopefully she got to see it. The next item on the agenda is our classroom moment. Our teachers and students do amazing things in each of our schools every day. The agenda item gives us the opportunity to share some of that good news with our board and people watching on TV. So I'm going to turn this over to Superintendent Laws. What do you have for us
All
at
right,
this time?
tonight we're going to have a good time with Lead the way. And I needed to put my mic on.
Rankin's going.
Good evening, Chairman Ramsey, Vice Chair Cherry, members of the board, Superintendent Laws. I am excited about the opportunity to introduce our A-plus schools, W.A. Best, Ida Rankin,
Go Rankin.
and Pinewood. So at this time, I would like Ms. Clark to come up and start us off with all the good stuff they have plans for A-plus schools.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson. Good evening, Chairman Ramsey, Vice Chair Cherry, members of the board, and Superintendent Laws. W.A. Best, Ida Rankin, and Pinewood Performing Arts Academy are honored to be here this evening to share with you how becoming a member of the A-plus schools of North Carolina was a game changer for our students, teachers, and staff. During our attendance at high-quality professional development facilitated by A-plus fellows, the benefits of arts integration, arts education, and arts exposure were evident. We believe embracing the arts is an essential instructional strategy for teaching and learning the state standards across all subjects. Integration of the arts into the curriculum provides students with multiple learning opportunities and authentic experiences while exposing them to all art forms such as dance, drama, music, visual arts, and creative writing. For our classroom moment, we believe it is important for you to experience how the arts impact daily instruction in our schools. we have planned a non-traditional board meeting presentation so you can truly experience A+. Our students and teachers will showcase how teaching and learning have been transformed in our schools during our A+ journey. First, Ida Rankin Elementary will feature their school's performances over the past years to share how their students' exposure to the arts has impacted their school community. Then, W.A. Best Elementary School will invite you into a classroom to experience an arts integrated lesson. And last, Pinewood Elementary Performing Arts Academy will convey the impact of A+ through personal experiences. Pictures capturing A+ moments within our schools will be scrolling on the monitors. And now, Ida Rankin.
Before we begin, I do want to introduce my team. I have Mr. Jeff Engel, who has led 14 years of performances and productions, which are all very much student involved. He's kind of the person in the background, and they take over. I have two content teachers with me, Leah Allen and Heather Horn, and then I have these fabulous fifth graders who are also members of Safety Patrol, and they are going to show you our stories of before A+ until now through all of our, or several of our productions. And I think, guys, they want you to turn around and face this way. So just turn it this way. There you go. Just real quick.
I would prefer to see you guys, but.
Names, I have Harper Allen, you just give them a wave, Novella Hooks, Brenton Clark, Brooks King, and Quinn King.
Hold on just a second, we're gonna come down.
We're gonna come see y'all. We want everybody to see you.
It's the hard knock life for us. It's the hard knock life for us. Static tweeting, we get tricked. Static kisses, we get kicked. It's the hard knock life.
Just like in Annie, it was a hard knock life around Rankin before we learned about A+. Specialist teachers did great things in their classes, and classroom teachers did great things in their classrooms, but they didn't work together to share their amazing ideas. Teachers didn't have a lot of time to work together to figure out creative ways to help tap into individual learning styles.
Chuck, hurry up! Come on! Annie, wait for me! It's just another summer day when Jack and Annie came to play.
Then we were reminded of Rankin's history and multi-year partnership with Blue Menthol. We learned about other schools around us who were integrating the arts, working with specialist teachers, and motivating students to learn. We knew we were ready to become that magical school who could bring the highest standard of learning while having fun. In the words of Jack and Annie, we want to go there.
Deep in the 100-acre wood, where Christopher Robin plays, you'll find the enchanted neighborhood of Christopher's childhood day.
In joining the A+ network, we had a lot to learn. It's so much more than just crafting projects in class, but now we're ready to think like Christopher Robin. You're braver than you believe, stronger than you think, and smarter than you seem. Everyone stepped out of their comfort zone and started exploring new ways to learn.
It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata.
Now we feel like we're living like Simba. Hakuna Matata, everyone. We are integrating the arts with the help of our amazing specialist teachers. We understand more about multiple intelligences so we can really meet the needs of our students. No worries, we're having fun, staying focused on learning, and mastering our standards. Hakuna Matata.
Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, let it go. Turn away and slam the door.
These are some examples of shows we've previously done at Rankin. Annie, Magic Treehouse, Winnie the Pooh, and Lion King. This year, I might just be Elsa in our Frozen production. But don't worry, our teachers won't. Let it go. We love this style of teaching and learning, and we hope to see some of you at our spring show.
WABS now invites you to take a peek into a 4th grade classroom and participate in an arts integrated lesson. Please welcome to the stage, we have Leah Suggs, our lead teacher, Kirsten Zacola, 4th grade teacher, Tammy Kavanaugh, 1st grade teacher, Charlotte Friday, assistant principal. Our students here this evening are Camden Abercrombie, Karina Fernandez, Riley Pittman, and Emmett Robertson. Sherry Willis, our 5th grade teacher, and also our A+ coordinator. We have some props that we have also passed out to our Superintendent Laws and Board of Education members, so feel free to participate as well. In this lesson, reading, science, and dance standards are infused, and you will experience firsthand how students benefit from hands-on experiences, high engagement, collaboration, creativity, and a school culture focused on a lifelong learning every day at WABS.
Okay, let's find out our learning target for today. Ready? What's the target? What's the target? What's the target for today? It's what we know and how we grow, what we're learning for today. Good. So we've been learning about seasonal changes in autumn and the behaviors that the plants exhibit to survive. As we noticed on our nature walk, deciduous trees lose their leaves in the fall, helping to conserve energy through the harsh winter. Now, we know scientists study seasonal changes, but even writers and dancers use seasons as inspiration. So science, dance, reading, and writing are all connected. So listen as I read aloud a poem, Autumn Leaves. I would like everyone, even our audience and board members, to visualize the verbs that the author uses when describing the movement of leaves. Maybe even closing your eyes. Remember, these action words are called verbs. What are they called?
Verbs.
Autumn leaves. Autumn leaves, they flutter as they fall down to the ground. They whirl, they twirl, they dance, but they do not make a sound. Okay, open your eyes. Did anybody hear a verb in there? You did? Karina, what'd you hear? Whirl, good. Emma, how about you? Twirl. What'd you hear, Camden? Dance, Riley? Oh, flutter, yeah, those are good. Okay, so this time you're going to use your scarves as dancers do to assist the expression of your movements. So as I reread the poem, listen for verbs that demonstrate the actions of the autumn leaves as they fall from the trees in preparation for the winter
season.
Yeah. All right. Ready with your scarves? Okay. Autumn leaves. Autumn leaves, they flutter as they fall down to the ground. They whirl, they twirl, they dance, but they do not make a sound. That was good. Awesome. Good job. Okay, so let's do our exit ticket. So as your exit ticket today, we're going to create dance movements that represent the verbs that we brainstormed earlier about leaves. You can work with your neighbor or by yourself to create a movement that shows us how leaves dance as they fall from the tree when the season changes. Okay, show us your movements as I read some of these verbs. Ready? Float. Oh, loop. Swirl. Zigzag. Crumple. Hold. Excellent. Up you go. All right. Good ending dance position. Fantastic participation, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to be here this evening to share a snippet of a school day at WABS and how A+ benefits our entire school community.
All right, good evening, Chairman Ramsey, Vice Chair Cherry, board members, and Superintendent Laws. Thank you for the opportunity to share our A+ experience with you. Tonight, I have with me my content teacher, Ms. Rebecca O'Brien, 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Megan Guyton, and 5th grade student, Josie Beam, to share their experiences with A+. To begin, I'm going to show you a clip of our show choir as they're getting ready for their upcoming October performance. Once that's finished, Josie will share why she enjoys being a student at an A+ school, followed by Mrs. Guyton sharing why she believes in the A+ experience as an educator.
Your song is
Hello, Chairman Ramsey, Vice Chair Cherry, Superintendent of Laws, members of the board, and guests. I've known about the arts since I was almost 1 because I've been dancing all my life. I love that at my school we do show choir and theater. Since we are a performing arts school, many of the staff and students are very creative. I am happy to go to a school that does show choir and theater because they can show the students creativity and have fun. The arts has been around me all my life. I love that I can embrace my creativity at school. Our performing arts school gives us surprises because in show choir, you may not think you can sing, but when you sing, you're a kid version of Whitney Houston. I love that at my school is a mixture of creativity and the essentials. A few more programs we have at Pineway Elementary, Performing Arts Academy, our student ambassadors, Battle of the Books, Safety Patrol, Math Masters, robotics, and a very challenging AIG program. In theater, we acted out The Three Little Pigs. We also watched some of the Beauty and the Beast junior musical. We were able to be the narrator for The Three Little Pigs. We got to choose what the big bad wolf and the three little pigs would do during the whole story. I feel like more schools should experience the arts in theater and show choir so they can express their creativity and, more importantly, have fun. There are 2 more things I would like to say. First of all, in show choir, we don't have to sing, we can also dance. Secondly, we have some pretty funny vocal warm-ups. My school is so much fun.
Good evening, Chairman Ramsey, Vice Chair Cherry, members of the board, and Superintendent Laws. Thank you for this opportunity to share the impact of A+ in my classroom. Integrating the arts with my science curriculum has given me the ability to level the playing field for my students by offering new opportunities in the ways they learn new things and demonstrate that learning. We incorporate many of the A+ practices into our daily routines, but my favorite way to do this is through enriched assessments in conjunction with our more traditional assessments. These projects are used as both self-assessment tools for myself and my students to gauge the learning that has taken place and give students another avenue in which to demonstrate they have mastered the content. In this way, I can get a more clear picture of what my students really know and adapt my teaching as needed. Since incorporating these practices, I've seen an increased level of engagement, ownership in learning, and growth on state assessments. Starting in the 22-23 school year, we began a partnership with Daimler Trucking's STEM Education Outreach Department. They're using our school, my classroom, to pilot an initiative program that exposes more students to careers in STEM with the ambition of creating more diversity amongst those who choose STEM-related careers. Last year, we completed 3 successful projects facilitated by their engineers that were tailored to align with the state standards I teach in 5th grade science. My students truly enjoyed these projects and spending time with these mentors, and we are looking forward to continuing this partnership this school year. Our students have been given access to many new opportunities since we first started pursuing our A+ partnership, and while these practices sometimes pull us out of our comfort zones, our students, as our first priority, are rising to the challenge.
Thank you for participating in our A+ experiences this evening. We appreciate the opportunity to share our arts programs and the benefits of having an arts-enriched environment with all of you. Thank you.
Okay. We want to our students and teachers all come up and introduce themselves to us, and then we're going to get some pictures. So come on up.
All right, come on up here and meet our friends up here.
Yeah.
Come up and stand, and then we'll do it. I'm gonna catch you on the end of it. Good work. Thank you. Hello.
You're a great speaker too.
All right, come by here. Let me speak to you. Let me speak to you. Thank you. I want to speak to you. Thank you so much. We'll come up here and get a
Okay, so.
Can you see everybody, Todd? Josh, get up.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Let's do one more. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Now for the moms.
These are some amazing kids.
Yes, they are. I'll tell Emmy you said hello.
Good job, good job, good job.
Thank you for coming tonight.
We'd like to thank everyone for your presentations. Go Steelers. We appreciate all what's done in our classrooms all the way across our school system every day. Our next item on the agenda is allow the opportunity for public expression. This is the time when the board will hear comments from citizens about the matters of public concerns related to the school system. Our board policy sets aside the first 30 minutes of our regular board meeting for citizens to address the board. Before we hear from Mr. Mitchum, let me outline the procedure. Citizens wishing to make comments and who completed a request to speak form prior to the beginning of the meeting will be recognized by the chair and then requested to step to the microphone to make their comments. Citizens will state their name and address for the record. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Members of the board do not respond to public expressions during the public comment period. Public expressions does not allow for comments on confidential or personnel matters. Speakers who wish to give materials to our board will hand it to our clerk, and the chair shall rule all points of order during public expression.
My name is Floyd Mitchell. I live at 603 Ralph Boulevard, Gaston, Crowder's Mountain area. I'm a retired maintenance man here at Gaston County Schools. I got involved in this about 10 years ago. I found out that not many people around here know about the Abraham Museum up in Rutherford County. That's why I'm here, to produce the information to schools. I've left all of y'all a brochure on it, and I hope y'all look it over and be certain you push it out to the schools. We'd like for the kids to go to the museum and see it and stuff. There's no charge. All we ask is donations if you visit. But it's a nice little place and everything. And my name is on it, so I'll hang around if you want any more information. I'll try to give you what I can of it. Did y'all know that Gaston County was involved with Abraham Lincoln? There's a plaque here in the Gaston County of Nancy, his mother. It's down at Belmont. It's right across from South Point High School. If you want to know more about it, I'll let you know after the service is over with. And thank you for letting me show.
Well, thank you for sharing that with you. And actually, it's in the Penstow Forest neighborhood community because my roommate Steve Ray lives at the cabin's right behind his house. But thank you.
Mr. Mitchum, thank you for being here, and thank you for your service to the school system for all those years. Jeff said we need some help in the maintenance department, so will you come back?
Thank you again. The next item on the agenda is, if she is here. I did not see it.
Good evening. My name is Becky Gaither. I don't believe I've met you, Mr. Laws. I believe I've sent you an email, though. My address is on the form. I'm actually here to invite each of you to a documentary that we'll be showing in Charlotte. It's called Fighting the Indians. It is a documentary put on by Matthew Cooley, well-known case in Maine about removing the mascot. So we are opening this private viewing to the public, but for each of you, there'll be a reserved seat with your name on it. We would like for you to come and educate yourself on this topic. I know that each time that I've come here to speak, I've said over and over, I'd love for us to have a discussion about the harms of the mascot in South Point High School. I still would like to have that discussion with you. Every month, I will be happy to send an email each of you. I'd be happy to meet with you along with other members of our group. But as educators, I would think that you would want to learn everything you can about this topic, whether it be for or against the mascot at South Point. So this documentary is a good way to at least educate yourself on it. So it'll be October 15th, 2 p.m. The Independent House Picture House is a nonprofit movie theater willing to show the documentary. The producer will be there to provide question and answers afterwards. So if you have questions where you are on the fence about this topic, you're welcome to bring those questions to this venue. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gaither. The next item on the agenda is our approval and corrections of minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes for August the 1st and August 21st regular meetings. Have a motion by Mr. Stevens.
Second.
Second, Ms. Cherry. All in favor? That's unanimous. Did Dot Guthrie?
Yes, Dr. Guthrie did.
There she is. Thank you, Ms. Dot. Okay. Next item on the agenda is our 2023-2024 budget update. This is information item, Gary Hoskins.
Good afternoon, Chairman Ramsey, Vice Chair Cherry, members of the board, Superintendent Laws. I'm here to provide an update on the 2023-2024 budget. This probably won't take very long. We discussed back in June an update on the budget. The governor had released his budget, his version of the state budget, and this is a biennial budget. It's for the years 2023 through 2025. He released his budget on March 16th. The House followed shortly thereafter at the end of March, and then the Senate released their version of the budget May 15th. Then early June, both the House and the Senate approved their conference committee appointments so that those two groups, representatives of the House and the Senate, would get together and come up with a comprehensive budget. However, we've been told several times when to expect this budget. Most recently, we were expecting it the week of September 11th. That obviously did not happen, and it has still not happened to this point in time. They're still discussing that. So some of the issues that impact us, differences between the state House and the state Senate, they both have the same income tax rate. But you've probably heard about the casino issues and how fast they're going to go from 4.75% income tax rate, which is where we are now, to lowering it to a 4.5% rate. Part of that, I think, is involved in the casino issues, which is sort of dragging this on. But direct impact to our school system is that the House version of the budget restores teacher master's pay and also ensures that the teachers will have a state supplement again this year. They've done that over the past 2 years, and prior to that, that was not a part of the state budget. The Senate does not have either of those provisions in their version. And also the House version has salary increases of 4.25%, pretty much across the board, teachers, administrators, central office, etc., whereas the state Senate budget is 2.5% for most people, and then for the teachers is tiered between 5.13% for new teachers to 0.37% for those teachers that are 25 years of experience or more. So as of right now, as I mentioned, we have no state budget. So what we are doing is we are currently working off last year's recurring budget, the 2022-2023 recurring budget. So that means that no salary increases for any employees at this time, no step increases, experience step increases for any teachers, and no state supplement for any teachers. So that's where we are at this point in time. And the next steps for us, as we get towards the end of this week, beginning of next week, we're going to be processing the September payroll for monthly employees. So back on August 10th, we presented our employees with a communication about the impact of not having a budget on their payroll. So we'll refresh that because when we presented that back on August 10th, we were expecting to have a state budget so that we would have that increase in the September pay run, but that is not going to be the case at this point. And also try to move as quickly as we can to get those items into Oracle and get that into the new payroll. And keep in mind, even if the state General Assembly approved a budget today, it's going to go to the governor and could sit on his desk for 10 days. We're going to be processing payroll for month end this week. So that's sort of where we are at this point. And then as soon as we get the final budget, we will be bringing to you a budget resolution for the 2023-2024 fiscal year. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman, unless you have any questions.
Does any of the board have any comments or questions?
Thank you.
Will that be done at one time? in one lump, or will we
We
do
will,
that
well, obviously you have different payrolls. You have some that are on bi-weekly and some that are on monthly, but we will do it as quickly as we can. It depends on when it is passed, how much time we have before we process payroll. Like I said, we're going to be processing the 27th payroll, which is next week, later this week on the 22nd. So if we got a budget now, there's no way we could get it in there. So we're going to try to do it as quickly as we can, but I just don't know the circumstances of what the increases are, how complicated they are, and how close they are to processing a payroll run.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I understand that when the budget is passed, that the salaries will be retroactive. Am I right as far as the increase and the step up and all of that?
That has historically been the case, but obviously the General Assembly can make whatever determination that they want. But every time that I've been here, and probably even before, they have always been retroactive to July 1st. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my next question then would be, if the salary is retroactive, will the teachers need or have to pay a higher tax bracket, being that that's going to be retroactive back to July or whatever, since it didn't happen for their first check? Would that raise their tax if you're going to do retroactive?
It probably would not, because you're talking the August and September pay, maybe 2.5% to 4% increase for those 2 months. So I doubt that would bump you into a higher tax bracket, but obviously you pay taxes as a percentage of your gross salary, so that would go up because you have a higher gross salary. But as far as pushing you into a different tax bracket, that typically would not be the case, but I don't want to say in all instances that it would not be.
All right, just a question. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Gary, but it is unfortunate when you see those percentages that don't even cover inflation rate.
Yes, sir.
So that's very disappointing to see that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is our North Carolina Accountability Model results. Dr. Powers.
Good evening, Chairman Ramsey, Vice Chair Cherry, members of the board, and Superintendent Laws. Tonight, I will be sharing our 2022-23 North Carolina Accountability Model preliminary results. In 2017-18, the North Carolina Accountability Model was voted into law. With that came some changes. Before proceeding, let's review the North Carolina Accountability Model. The Accountability Model includes school performance grades for each school and long-term goals. School performance grades are still an A through F grading model for schools based on achievement and growth measures. First, we'll take a look at our growth results. Academic growth indicates whether students achieve a year's worth of progress for a year's worth of instruction. Growth is reported in one of 3 ways: exceeded growth, met growth, or did not meet growth. For the 22-23 school year, Gaston County Schools had 73% of our schools to meet or exceed overall academic growth expectations. This is an increase for us. And 16 of our schools exceeded academic growth, which is also an increase from the 21-22 school year. For the first time in history, I'm excited to share this with you guys. We had 3 schools to reach a perfect 100 growth score in our EVOS performance platform. This places them in the upper 5% of our schools in the state in regards to student growth. And those schools are Bessemer City Middle, Cramerton Middle, and Highland School of Technology. Next up is our proficiency and achievement measures. Student proficiency for the 22-23 school year was calculated and reported for both instructional and accountability model results. State tests were administered in the following subject areas to determine proficiency: reading and math for grades 3 through 8, science for grades 5 and 8, and math 1, math 3, biology, and English 2 for our high schools. Furthermore, the graduation rate continues to be calculated and reported as well, along with other high school indicators. Students in Gaston County improved their performance on end of grade and end of course state tests. At the end of the 21-22 school year, our proficiency rate was 48.4% of tests passed. Gaston's overall proficiency rate for the 22-23 school year is 50.2% of tests passed, which is a 1.8 point higher than last year. It is also of importance to note to you that we are now 6 points higher than 2021, which was our first testing year after COVID. In the following slides, I'm going to share with you some subject area results by grade level. We will begin with math for our grades 3 through 5. As you can see here, we had increases in all 3 of our grade levels in comparison to the 21-22 school year. 4th grade had the highest increase with a 4.2% increase in comparison to the 21-22 school year. Next is grades 6 through 8 in math. We saw increases in both our 6th and 8th grades. However, we did see a decrease in grade 7. Moving on to reading, we did have increases in all 3 grade levels for elementary schools in reading. And again, our 4th graders were the highest with a 2.8% gain. In grades 6 through 8, we saw increases in all 3 grade levels here as well. And our 6th and 8th graders had the highest gains in comparison to the 21-22 school year, with 6th grade having a 3.7% gain and 8th grade 3.5% gain. And they were actually the 2 highest grade levels for the entire district. Science was the only subject area that we did experience a decrease in proficiency. However, our 5th grade science did remain relatively the same from one year to the next. For our high schools, Math 3 and Biology had a significant increase in the percentage of students scoring at or above grade level. The proficiency rate for English 2 increased slightly at 0.6%, while the proficiency rate for Math 1 dipped only 1/10 of a point when compared to the previous school year. As you can see here in summary, we continue to recover our learning loss in Gaston County, and in most of our areas, we are getting closer to being at the same percent of tests passed that we were prior to the COVID pandemic. Next, we have the 4-year cohort graduation rate. 10 years ago, our graduation rate was 70%. Fast forward to the 2016-17 school year, we had a peak of 88.3%. As a result of changes in how the graduation rate is calculated, we saw a decrease in our graduation rate to 84.8% for the 2018 school year. In response to the pandemic in 2019-20, the state did reduce the amount of credits a student needs to graduate from 28 to 22. Therefore, in response, we saw an increase in our graduation rate, which was 88%. In 2021, the state returned to the pre-pandemic calculations, and the total credit requirements students need to graduate increased back to 28. Our graduation rate for the 21 school year was 86.5%. Our rate for 21-22 school year was 85.2. And for this year, our rate is 1/10 of a point increase at 85.3%. 6 of our schools have a graduation rate of 90% or higher: Gaston Early College, Highland, South Point, Cherryville, and East Gaston, Forest View. And Cherryville and East Gaston had the most significant increases when we compare their graduation rate from one year to the next. For math course rigor, it measures the percentage of seniors who graduate with credit for NC Math 3. Although this is another area that we have experienced changes in the rules for calculation, as a district, over 95% of our seniors earned credit for the Math 3 course. In addition, all of our high schools, 100% of them, have over 90% of our seniors who graduate with credit for NC Math 3. One of the components of the high school performance grades is the ACT Work Keys indicator. Beginning in 1718, the data from these assessments was combined into one indicator to measure the percentage of high school seniors meeting college or career readiness measures. This indicator uses a combination of both ACT results from their 11th grade year and Work Keys results from their 12th grade year. Beginning in 2020, the benchmark for reaching college and career readiness on the ACT increased from a composite score of 17 to a 19. And this resulted in a decrease in the percent of students reaching this benchmark during the 21-22 school year, with 33.3% of our seniors reaching that composite score of a 19 or higher. However, it is important to note that the percent of students reaching that score of 19 or higher did increase for us this year in just year 2 of the changes in those calculations, and it's by over 3 points from last year. The second component of this indicator is our Work Keys assessment. This portion of the indicator identifies the percent of our seniors scoring a composite score of a silver or higher on the Work Keys assessment. This year we had 58.4% of our seniors meet this benchmark, and this is a decline from last year's percentage, which was 60.7%. The state uses the testing and accountability data to give school performance grades, which were assigned for the first time in 2014. A school's performance letter grade is determined using a formula based only on 2 factors: student achievement and test scores, which count 80% of that grade, and student academic growth, which counts 20% of the grade. Here on this slide, I have shared for your review the indicators that make up the school performance grade calculations for both our elementary and middle schools as well as our high schools. For the 22-23 school year, Gaston County had nearly 2/3 of its schools, 32 of 51, to earn an A, B, or C grade. 3 of our schools received an A grade, 8 schools received a B grade, and 21 received a C grade. And 12 of our schools are within 3 or fewer points of achieving a higher school performance grade. Next, I'll be sharing information with you about our low-performing schools. According to General Statute 115C 105.37, it states that low-performing schools are those that receive a school performance grade of a D or an F and have a school growth score of met expected growth or does not meet expected growth. In 2014-15, the state of North Carolina began identifying low-performing schools. Last year, I stood before you in 21-22 and shared with you that we had 24 low-performing schools. Through the hard work of our teachers and staff, we did see a decrease in the number of low-performing schools. For the 22-23 school year, we do have 17 low-performing schools. However, we know that we still have work to do to decrease this number yet again. On this slide, I have shared the list of our 17 low-performing schools with you. Over the next month, these schools will be working on their school improvement plans in response to how they will work to improve student performance this school year. At your next meeting, we will share a draft version of these plans for your review. Thank you, Chairman Ramsey. That is all that I have.
Okay, does any of the board members have any comments or questions for Dr. Powers? Okay.
I have a question, please.
All right, Ms. Guthrie.
First of all, I want to congratulate Gaston County's educators for the progress that's being made in our school district. It's very encouraging to hear those numbers. I wanted to ask Dr. Powell, that 4th grade, did you say that 6 to 8%, there was a 6 to 8% increase in reading? Is that what you said? I think I made a note. I just want to make certain of that because I see letters working in our district. And I just think that the investment that we made to use this literacy-based program is just working. You basically talked about an increase in reading in every grade level, I think, except seventh grade, you said? Maybe I was wrong in making that note.
For reading, we had increases in all of our grade levels.
I just think that's phenomenal, because when we see that our children are, it's more than just citing words now. I mean, that's comprehension as well. So I just wanted to throw that out. I just think that's a good thing for Gaston County to show that progress. So whatever is working there, I just hope that we can continue it. Just very good. So thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Guthrie. Thank you,
Thank you.
Dr. Powers. Next item on the agenda is our Business Advisory Council meeting update. Mr. Buchanan, the information item.
Good afternoon, members of the Gaston County Board of Education. Chairman Ramsey, Vice Chair Cherry, Dr. Laws, it's my pleasure to be here this evening. I'm going to give you a quick update on our latest Business Advisory Council meeting that took place on September the 13th. Per general statute, we must have a Business Advisory Council that meets 2 times per year. The one we held for this year was held here in the boardroom, along with a virtual option. We had 25 total attendees, 21 being in person and 4 tuning in virtually. I went through the usual motions. It's a 1-hour lunch meeting. Went through the agenda adoption, approval of minutes, and then updates and good news, which was pretty much the same information I presented to you last June, and then moved into our CTE Comprehensive Local Needs Assessment Survey. Every 2 years for career and technical education, we must complete a comprehensive local needs assessment involving multiple stakeholders, and one large portion of that is businesses, which obviously with our Business Advisory Council, we included them on that. And then moved on to the last portion of the meeting, which was discussing our Future Career Exploration Center. Not going to get too much into the exacts of that because that's the next presentation, but would like to say that we had numerous businesses fully excited, invested, and came up to me after the meeting wanting to participate and be part of that project moving forward. Actually, when I got back to the office, I already had 3 additional emails of businesses wanting to make sure they could be a part of that and help us move it forward in the future. Next meeting is scheduled for February the 21st here in the boardroom. And with that being said, I'm happy to answer any questions about our advisory council meeting.
I think
Can
everybody.
you give us an idea of the
We had EMT, had Tyndall Ford, let's see here, manufacturing, had Dixon, SSI, Steel Fab, Piedmont Lithium, Caramont. It's really a very broad range, and a lot of our partners that I presented, and we'll show you some of their logos. It is a wide scope and a broad range of businesses that comprise the community. Not really. It honestly is like when we were talking about our internships in the past, we had 21 businesses participate, and we had 25 attend this, so it is a good makeup of them.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I think you're next on the other item, CT update.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Buchanan.
So I want to give you a quick update on our Future Career Exploration Center. We discussed this with our Business Advisory Council. They were very excited about this. The concept kind of derived from 2 opportunities we have had our students participate in, and we want to take the 2 of those, make it something better and something that will be permanent, available to all of our students 365, all year long. Be Pro, Be Proud, that's a virtual reality career exploration event. It's hosted by the North Carolina Home Builders Association. We sent 12 middle schools worth of students over to participate in that, and the big takeaway was the students were really energized and engaged and wanted to learn about careers because it's in a medium they're used to with the virtual reality and the technology piece. Also visited Junior Achievement. We are partners with them, and we will continue to be a stronger partner. They offer an in-person simulation that obviously revolves around business and finance. Students will take part in some of their curriculum in their schools, and then they will travel on location to participate in scenarios that revolve around these businesses. 2 takeaways from this visit were how the businesses put their logos on particular storefronts, and on top of that, one of the things we're usually challenged with a career exploration opportunity is providing lunch. Usually we're driving students to or from or scheduling around lunch, and they offer a lunch option so the students can explore careers the entire day. So that brings us to offering something that's somewhat of a spin of this, but will always, like we do in career and technical education in Gaston County Schools, it's going to be the biggest and best thing we can provide our students. I feel sure this is something we will probably have visitors come and look at. So we are going to install our version of this in Forest Heights. The building to the left, the longer portion of it, it will house this. It will not displace any offices. It's currently being used just to hold surplus equipment. We'll move that somewhere else and install a version of this. So this is the future of what we will place there. As we walk through the room, you'll start with the glass double doors. Moving around to the bottom, you'll have an EMT simulator, a lineman bucket simulator. And a lot of these things were what were included in the Be Pro, Be Proud truck, along with some additions that they didn't have that will include career options that are available in our community that they may not have showcased. So we'll start with the EMT simulator, lineman bucket. There will be some heavy equipment simulators. That's the yellow items. Moving to the far left, you'll have a CDL truck driving experience that can include options. Could be ambulance, police car, and fire truck. Moving behind that would be an engine on a stand, just to kind of have students check out a prop, what powers all the things that they would be in a simulator. And then the next piece will be a welding simulator. Have a lot of demand for that. Partners with SSI, Duke Energy, Steel Fab, J&L Machine, and then moving to the next underneath the Caramont Health logo. That's an anatomage table. And then moving into the classrooms that can hold at least 20 students per classroom. Those are the VR, virtual reality headsets that students can get additional opportunities in hospitality, tourism, foods, manufacturing, and then automotive. The logo spin is something we put on there just to kind of give you an idea of what we can do. Obviously, it's something that goes back to what JA did for business, marketing, etc. This is just a different angle of it, using more of our local business partners. Again, this is just for example, and then we also included ourselves in that with Gaston County Schools. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to go through all of these things, but wanted to highlight a few of the things that would be above and beyond what our students have experienced in the two locations I just mentioned. Aviation could be a possibility, automotive, healthcare. Obviously, our number one employer in the county. We have good connections with Caramont and Contegra. And then hospitality, that could go back to our foods, etc. And then manufacturing. We are very well known in this particular area for manufacturing. Other things I just showcased in the picture, and then we are already scheduled to send 500 students to Junior Achievement to take advantage of what is available to us free of charge without including duplication in our future Career Exploration Center. Some of the potential uses, there's a lot of things coming down the pipe from DPI, the first one being Senate Bill 193, which is mandatory career development plans in grades 7 and 10 upon graduation. That is definitely going to be a future requirement for graduation. Portrait of a graduate from our state superintendent, Catherine Truitt. A lot of things are in there that go along with workforce awareness, career awareness, workforce development, and then DPI talent pipeline. Again, North Carolina was just named for the second consecutive year #1 in the nation for place of businesses. Getting businesses to come here, attracting them, and then having them stay requires a talent pipeline, all of which our Career Exploration Center could provide. Something else that was not offered via Be Pro, Be Proud or Junior Achievement was career exploration in grades 5 through 12, and that's the key piece. Not only could we offer a higher volume, which I'll talk about, it starts at lower grades. And we could provide lunch, so I've already talked with the child nutrition. As you know, we have a centralized food distribution center. It's as simple as letting them know when students will come to the location and the school they're coming from, and their food could be taken there instead of to their school. Businesses could use it for education and recruiting. We will provide the internship awareness, and then Gaston College, strong partners with them, could educate students on pre-apprenticeship and apprenticeship opportunities. Career fairs, career signing day, summer camps. We're starting to have a lot of our summer camps probably rotate off because they were associated with COVID funds, et cetera. This is something that could continue here via CTE funding and the Career Exploration Center. And again, one of the most powerful things is how many students could attend and from what schools. So CTE can provide career awareness to students in grades 5 through 12. So we figured out a way to include all of our elementary schools, all of our middle schools, and all of our high schools. They could visit this 2 times in 1 year. We plugged that into every single month of this current year's school calendar. This is just a sample of that. So every one of the schools I just mentioned could visit 2 times per year, bringing 50 to 60 students per visit, equating to about 6,000 plus or minus students total visiting in 1 year. With that being said, that's the update on our Career Exploration Center. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you may have regarding it.
Any comments, questions? Yeah, Mr. Chris.
So, thank you for putting this project together and looking at ways to up our CTE participation. That's becoming more and more a part of our economy now, and I'm glad to see we're pushing that. Obviously, things that are there to interest students to the heavy equipment operation, some of the things that we obviously can't provide a pathway for while they're in high school, are we going to have the ability to give them a career, and back that, give them a course plan that will help them prepare for that career, whether that be construction math, blueprint reading, those folks that are interested in the heavy equipment, just as an example, can we drive them toward automotive to develop some mechanical skills? So what are we going to do to make sure that those things that they're interested in, that we can't provide them as a high school pathway like we can in welding and some of those others, to get them prepared to go into that workforce?
We actually do offer carpentry, masonry, electrical. We have posted and are trying to expand to HVAC and plumbing. We offer automotive in 4 schools. So we do offer a broad range of opportunities, but really the challenge that not only lies with businesses for this, but for also as us as educators in the business of education, is trying to make sure we can recruit teachers to keep those things going and to expand out on them, as just like you identified.
Well, so let me be clear on that. What are we going to do to make sure they have a course plan to get to where they want to go for the projects that we can't provide?
And really this aligns with that perfectly, with starting with that earlier age. So when we work with any of our students, our middle school career development coordinators and our high school career development coordinators, we can expose them to opportunities like you said, even if we offer it, let's say it's not in their particular pathway, feeder pathway. We can still expose them to this, see if they're interested in that, and then work with them to make sure, are you aware of it is located in Gaston County Schools? Is it in your feeder pathway? If not, we can expose them to what Gaston College offers with CCP opportunities, and then work with our businesses to come in and to offer and talk about opportunities, maybe internship, apprenticeship, work-based learning options.
Let me say it a different way then. And I said this in our work session, I think this is a wonderful idea, but we have career pathways at most of our schools, and they're very clear. And our first priority is to make sure that our student population is being addressed and their needs are being addressed. If we need to expand some of, or tweak some of our pathways, I'm fine with that. But I want to make sure that our population's needs are met with this first. I think it's a wonderful idea. But to piggyback on what Josh is saying, I want to make sure that whatever they see that piques their interest, we have something in our system that they're going to be able to take and learn from to expand on a career choice that they might have.
And that would be the primary goal.
That's where my concern is about this. The stuff is very interesting to me, but we're lacking in some of the things that you're mentioning in our CTE programs right now, whether it be because we don't have teachers or the program has never been there. So I would rather see it have some of those things, but more geared toward programs that we have, or either get or change them. Because this is exciting. Is that kind of what you're saying, Mr. Crisp, or am I off target?
I think just a little bit. I'm just concerned that we are able to give students, for lack of a better term, a sheet of paper that says, if you're interested in, we're giving them an opportunity to sit in D9 dozer simulator, right? And they're pushing dirt, they're digging holes, they're doing whatever they're doing. When they say, this is what I want to do for a career, and they identify that in the 8th grade, 7th grade, whatever it is, we need to be able to give them a course plan, almost a pathway to say, if this is issue, obviously we can't give you this in our school. Can we make sure that they are taking the correct math, whether that be a construction math, whether that be GPS-based courses, whether that be blueprint reading, whether that be something geared towards survey, whether that be mechanics, something that's going to give them an interest, that's going to give them a solid base to be able to walk out into a community college or an internship as they graduate in that field, that they're going to have some baseline skills to excel. I guess that's what I'm looking for. Are we going to develop those pathways to say, okay, you're interested in heavy machinery, look at these courses as you go to high school?
Yep. And that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. We do have Naviance. We will be creating career development plans that will, once we learn what students are interested in, we can create that career development plan, install it in a Naviance, and then, like mentioned earlier, they're supposed to have one made in 7th and then revisited in 10th. So yes, sir.
And don't hear that as we're not supporting this project. At least I'm not. I'm absolutely supporting the project. I just want to make sure when we hook them, when we get them, that we get them out the door with that same hook and have the ability for them to excel in that career.
I agree 100%. Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone else? If it's not, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I think while we wouldn't vote on this, I think just an acknowledgement of affirmation of the plan would be good, because we're going to be trying to begin the preparation of Forest Heights for this, if the board is as excited as I think you are about this. A lot of this is piquing an interest for students and getting them excited about it, so that if they are interested in the heavy equipment, then indeed you do need these kinds of courses. So I think that while we may not have the CTE offering necessarily, we can do some groundwork. And I kind of think about college students who go to a 4-year school and maybe want to get into law and study law. Well, they may not have a pre-law program, so they major in history or major in politics, but they get an underpinning for the next step that they go to, so that they could go to a trade school, a Gaston college that we're so blessed to have here, or anywhere else to get those next steps. So I'm with you. I think this is an exposure piece. They're going to see what opportunities are and go home hopefully and say to their parents and others, this is something that really interests me, and it's got potential to keep kids in school and more focused. And I think it's terrific, but I think it would be good if we got an affirmation from the board for Brett to go forward, for Dr. Hushard to know what we can do next at Forest Heights, because if you're interested, I would like to think we can have this thing ready to go next school year.
Lee, you good?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to know how much money we're going to spend and where the money's coming from, but, other than that, I think it's a wonderful idea, but.
How many staff people do you think you're going to need?
Our current staff. So the same individuals that work will go out in our schools, would recruit to bring them here. So that will include our middle school CDCs and our high school CDCs.
So you won't need additional
No, sir.
teachers? Yes.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Guthrie.
may I please make a statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, I am excited about the possibilities that were presented before us this evening. We have seen from the strong leadership of Brett that he will stand before us and share information with us that's data-driven. He has done that since I've known him. He has presented us with a plan, and I don't think that it wasn't thought out very well. I think he took his time and evaluated what he wanted to say to us, how he wanted to say it, as well as share the documentation that's needed in order for this program to be successful. And as always, I'm excited when I hear things from him because I know how they will materialize. And as far as I am concerned, as well as convinced that the plan is data-driven to me based on the previous experiences that he's had with businesses. And it has been thought out well, and if we give him the opportunity to show us, it will materialize just as stated. I know that as with any other new program, there will be some hiccups, and we must realize that. It was shown tonight in our presentation from Dr. Powell, how we have shown growth through the letters program that we purchased a few years ago. And we are showing that growth in our district, and I think we ought to, once again, give him the opportunity for us to say that we have something that will reach every child. I heard about the multiple intelligences this evening, and I want to hear that every child or a child will go home that's reluctant right now, but if there's a skill that that person can be responsible for, and it's through this program, I think we ought to give him the opportunity to show us that.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Buchanan.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is an update on our superintendent
So,
selection.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
are we going to do that, or how are we going to discuss that? I just wanted to know, is that something that we will decide later?
Ms. Guthrie, we were doing affirmations. He was going from person to person on the board.
Okay.
This is
right.
actually not a voting.
You can blame it on my temperature. Thank you.
Yeah. I think you just gave your affirmation that you're in support of this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Guthrie.
you. I wanted to give everybody an update on our superintendent selection process. Our board met on September 11th, 2023 in a special call meeting. We spent time reviewing application and selecting candidates to be considered for interviews in October. We want to thank again our employees, students, and community for supporting this search and with your participation in the survey, our community meetings, and your comments. We are grateful for the support we have received for this search for the next superintendent, and we continue to be grateful to Dr. Laws for serving as our interim superintendent while we do this search. So thank you again. Next item on the agenda is our policy updates. And as we all know, the General Assembly passed the Parents' Bill of Rights. Our board has always taken the position that it is important for parents to be involved in all aspects of their children's education. Our policies currently provides for that involvement, and our principals encourage that as well. We do need to update several of our policies to reflect recent changes in the law. They are being presented to you tonight for information. We also is going to post these on links for our website to update for review for the general public, and we would please let us know how you feel about these. So I'd like to turn it over to Ms. McGraw. Do you have any comments?
So it's just important to know that that will be posted on the website for information and for your review and for parents' reviews. And it will come back before this board at a later meeting. And as always, the policies have been reviewed by staff and come to you as a recommendation from the staff for your approval. But certainly if you have any comments, we'd love to hear those and look forward to discussing those with you further as you deem fit.
Ms. McGraw, looking at the board book earlier today, I noticed some were revisions and some were new. or one was an addition, I think.
I think the one on surveys, we had not previously had a policy on surveys, and it's just important now that we have our staff understand that those will be opt-in now.
Right.
Rather than opt-out, which is an important new parent right, and we will want to make sure that our staff understand that as well. In fact, we've already taken steps to make sure that there won't be any surveys unless those have been approved by central office and parents have consented to those surveys.
And so with the ones that are the revisions, just so that we can make sure we're clear, and I guess I'll say me, I would ask for this, if we could, can we get staff to give us for lack of a better terms, a tracked change from the previous policy to the current policy, just to make it easier to compare as we're looking at those?
So those are track changes that are posted online, and
I did not have an opportunity to look. So there are track changes
right.
online?
And you'll find that some of our policies don't require very many changes because this board has always respected the rights of parents to be involved in their children's education and saw the importance of that. So we, unlike some other districts maybe nearby who had changed their policies to curtail some of that, that wasn't us. That wasn't this board. So our board respects the rights of parents and encourages the rights of parents to be involved in their education. So we may not have required as many changes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments or questions for board attorney? Okay. Well, for the next item on the agenda is our consent agenda. As you can look at the list, I'd like to have a motion. Mr. Stevens makes a motion. Do I have a second? Second, Mr. Chris. Any discussion? All in favor? Ms. Guthrie, okay. Thank you. This brings us time to our meeting to hear comments from our superintendent, Dr. Laws.
Thank you, Chairman Ramsey. Just a couple of items this month. Many of us were able to go to Carr Elementary this past week and see a wonderful program of the Lighthouse Award being presented at Carr Elementary. This is a leadership program, a student leadership program, and it is aligned with the Covey Institute. And we saw leadership in action from a number of young people, and certainly want to commend Carr Elementary for the Lighthouse Award that they received this past week. It was a great time. It's always fun to go to those places and see what our students are doing. I want to remind the board that a week from tonight, we will be at Highland School of Technology for the Parent Advisory Night. We will have, each school has a group of 5 parents on their Parent Advisory Council, and we've invited all of those good folk to come and be with us at Highland, I think beginning at 5:30 for supper, and 6:30 we'll begin the work of the evening, which will be brief comments from me, and then we will get into subgroups to discuss parent perspectives for Gaston County Schools, and we look forward to that. That will be a week from tonight. This is College Application Week. October is countdown to college month, and this week is College Application Week. And many universities and colleges are on site with our high schools, and so it's an exciting time for folk, and just wanted to make you aware of that. October 3rd, which is Tuesday, is the groundbreaking at Greer. We're really excited about that. Oftentimes I'm on Garrison Boulevard and we have the banners up, so sometimes it's kind of hard to see over the banners into the backyard of Greer School, but having gone there, as we've often laughed about for 9 years, I've recognized that campus regularly, and we actually see now the facility going up there, and it's an exciting time at Greer. So we'll have the groundbreaking at Greer Middle School on October 3rd at 4:30, and it will be followed by the monthly board work session that we will have there at Greer Middle School in the Media Center. And we're getting close to the parent conference date. That will be on October 12th I think after school is parent-teacher conference day, and schools get dismissed at lunchtime, and those conferences go typically to supper time. And then October 13th is a teacher work day, so no school for students on October 13th, and I imagine they're ready for that. And so we're moving fast, and it's an exciting time. Last editorial comment from me, golly, tonight was fun. It was fun to see the A-plus kids and gosh, all those teachers who have gone the extra mile to be certified in AIG. So it was just a really cool night. Maybe a little bit longer of a meeting than we sometimes have, but golly, I bet y'all are used to meetings. This is kind of new for me, so I had a good time. I hope you did. It was a great week and a great time, and thank you, Chairman Ramsey.
All right, well, thank you, Dr. Laws. As we close our meeting, we want to thank for everyone supporting our board and Gaston County Schools. We do have 2 birthdays. We had one last week. Lee Devon turned 60, and Sonia McGraw turned 40 today. So we just want y'all sure do look like it anyway. I need a motion to go into closed session.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we go into closed session under North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A, 3 and 6 for consultation with attorney and personnel.
All right, second by Mr. Stevens. All in favor? Is she good? All right. We're in closed session. We'll take a 5-minute break for kickoff for the Panther. Back in open session, I'd like to call on Mr. Chris.
And we're making a motion to adjourn, Mr. Chair.
All right. Second, Mr. Kinlaw, all in favor? Thank you.